What's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button, and if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into the real of reality TV. So to start, I never talked about this show, but I thought this was funny because I've never watched The Bachelor, so I definitely didn't watch The Golden Bachelor. I've never watched The Bachelorette, and I ain't judging, because I used to watch Flavor of Love back in the day, okay? So we all are guilty of watching some trash at some point in time. But honestly, when I saw that they were making the show The Golden Bachelor, I thought about tuning in just for the sake of seeing what was really going on. But I was seeing some of the stories and, people talking about it. And I had my doubts when I saw that this guy that they're calling the Golden Bachelor, first and foremost, it's like, really? Why not the Silver Bachelor? Like, could it just be the Bachelor and it's just somebody that's older? Like, I mean, it's not a rarity for someone who is not in their 20s or even early 30s to get married or married again. But I digress. When I saw this, I thought that this was going to be a mess because it's rare that those people who get married on The Bachelor even stay together in the first place. So someone who is older, I just felt like having all of that with TV, the viewers, the social media, all of that stuff that they probably are not really used to, it was going to be a recipe for disaster, not including the fact that they said that the man already had a lot of issues and that he was a liar. He wasn't even really that, he wasn't as well off as he was trying to make himself appear to be when it came to choosing him to be a bachelor. Okay? They were saying that there were a lot of questionable things about his finances and his career, and he lied about some things. But they had this television wedding, and after 3 months they are now done. So they couldn't even stay together as long as Porsha and Simon did. What was it, like 15 months for them? So they went on to, I believe, Good Morning America to announce that they are done. So they revealed on Friday that they are getting a divorce 3 months after their TV wedding. Teresa and I have had a number of heart-to-heart conversations, and we've looked closely at our situation, our living situation, and we've kind of come to the conclusion mutually that it's time for us to dissolve our marriage. Adding that it's best for the happiness of each of us to live apart and be near our families individually. And TMZ reported earlier this month that even though they got married on camera in January, they haven't moved in together yet. And so one was in Indiana and the other one was in New Jersey. And concerning the couple's living arrangements, an insider explained to Us Weekly that one of the reasons the pair have no immediate plans to uproot their lives is because Teresa is continuing to work as a senior compliance officer at a financial advisory office on the East Coast. And the source noted that instead the spouses are choosing to navigate their long-distance relationship by making time to visit each other often. But they were already settled in their lives, and from what was said, she was more financially well off than him, so a lot of people felt like he was one of those gigolos, pretty much, looking for a sugar mama. Not even a sugar mama, but you know what I mean, because they're not, it's not like she was an older woman and and he was a younger guy. But even though I didn't watch the show, I just did not see it working out. It was both of their second marriages. They were already settled in their ways, and he just already had a lot of questionable things about him. I don't know what prompted her to want to move forward and get married to the guy. You know what I mean? Like, just date. Just date and have fun. But to go all out and have a wedding on television, I just felt like that was ridiculous. So now to come out after being married for 3 months to say they're going to get a divorce, I mean, great. I'm not saying that they should stay together. I'm not saying that. But it shouldn't have happened in the first place. All of these things for TV. And it's sad that they got wrapped up in this reality television thing where both of them probably felt the pressure to move forward and to do it anyway when they probably both had their apprehension as to actually going forward with the ceremony and this legally binding relationship where now they have to get it dissolved through court. Now, hopefully she had her prenup set, but I don't think that he's going to be able to get anything from her. But I digress. You can let me know what you think about that in the comment section. And speaking of things that are ridiculous, Real Housewives of Potomac. Yes, I have discussed this over and over again. But now it's looking like people really are making their voices heard, which I am so excited about when it comes to this show and threatening to boycott it if Gizelle is not booted from the show and pretty much recast. So the Bravo Shade Room is reporting that Potomac fans are rallying around Candace and calling out Andy and Gizelle. And there's a petition circulating on Twitter calling for Gizelle to be fired. Happy to hear it. It needs to happen. Now, will they listen? I don't know. But at this point in time, I don't know what they're expecting to get from this because the people are tuned out. I've seen so many people make comments and say, yeah, I was tuned out after the last season. Or I haven't been down for this show in a minute because they continue to let Gizelle come and slide and do the BS that she does. And I don't care what anyone says. I definitely believe that Gizelle operates in that colorism, what they call pretty girl bias, even if she has been married to a dark-skinned man, dated a dark-skinned man, her children have darker skin than she does. That does not mean that you don't operate in colorism. You know what I mean? I've even seen people that have made comments when I didn't go into details about her dad, but I said that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I shared an article about her dad, and just because people were trying to equate what he said to, oh, well, he was basically just trying to discuss her politics, not her skin color. But if Barbara Jordan was a woman with lighter skin, I don't think he would have correlated her to an Aunt Jemima. Let's just be real about that. And Gizelle, you don't really hear a whole lot about her mom. You've heard more about her dad and you hear about her mom, but she is someone that takes zero accountability. When she had the nerve to sit up there to say, I blame Wendy, Candace, Deborah, all of them. And then when Wendy checked her, it's like, what could I have possibly have done to have received any blame in being involved in this in any way when I was walking away from the situation and I didn't say anything to her? Well, I'll take Wendy out of it. I'll take Wendy out of it. She didn't apologize. She said, you know what? Wrong words. I just called you out because you were with Candace. She didn't even apologize. She is disgusting, and for whatever reasons, Andy, this thing about him being an executive, I feel that he's bad for the show as well. Him being the one that has always sat and has done these reunions when he's kind of like their boss, and then he has the right to be able to show favoritism to others and then not like others. When I've seen the articles and the write-ups about the people that Andy likes that are housewives and the ones that he doesn't really like that are housewives, do you think that on any regular job Like, you can't even really expose that type of stuff for the sake of, lawsuits when it comes to discrimination and different things like that. Well, I like this one more because they're white, and I don't like this one because they're black. You can't do that. And I'm not saying that he's come and actually said that, but what I'm saying is if people do things like that, it causes there to be issues where you could have EEOC complaints. If people don't know what that means, it's Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. That's in most states in the United States, where you can file a complaint and then they can issue, well, you do have a right to sue based on the grounds, based on the evidence, based on the things that has been exposed and expressed. Andy being in this position and having favorites, and then Gizelle being one of them. Obviously, he's played favorites. He's chosen her to have the show. He loves Porsha as well. Again, somebody that I don't understand why, but you like who you like. So when they had that show, it was some show. It didn't last long, but it was Gizelle, Porsha, and two other people. I do not remember who they were. And then with the Ultimate Girls Trip, he had Gizelle and Porsha, who was not even on the Housewives at the time, to be a part of the last Ultimate Girls Trip. And Candace was one of the people in there as well. But I believe that was by design, because he knew that Gizelle and Porsha would team up against Candace. He knew that. And he wanted to see those fireworks. It's like he has this pit bull that does his bidding for him because for whatever reason, he doesn't care for Candace. But a lot of people are just like, you know what? I'm over this show. And some people are saying Andy should be fired because his day is over as well. Some of the comments that people are sharing is, reality TV just isn't fun anymore. This season of RHOP was draining and exhausting. There weren't any key moments, no unity amongst the cast. Another person said, let's not act like she came there to support Ashley. Deborah came to fight with the clothes she had on. We all heard the audio in the clip. I'm not blaming Candace for another grown woman's actions. These are grown women, not children. This is exactly what I said. Another one says, the show has really gone downhill. I couldn't even finish the season. The blatant hypocrisy and lies spread by certain people is disturbing. Gizelle is a liability at this point. She will make up and spread info about the women and their husbands without any regard for them. Gizelle is intolerable at this point. The hate she has in her heart for others shows more and more. Someone added, bravo, Andy. Fix this show. Who is Karen, Mia, or Gizelle to be accusing or questioning Candace? And that's absolutely true, because I just talked about that. When Mia had the audacity to say to Candace, no, you can't be doing stuff like that. When Mia threw a drink in Wendy's face. Like, seriously? Another one says, it's unbelievable how Gizelle and Mia tried to gaslight Candace, and it's disgusting that at Bravo Andy allowed it. I feel so sorry, Candace, and I'm glad she left. I wish Wendy would leave too. The show is too toxic. And I kind of agree. Unfortunately, I feel like unless Wendy is fired, she probably won't leave, because Wendy, I like Wendy. I don't dislike her, but I do feel that she really is loving the spotlight that she's getting. She's looking good and feeling good about herself, and she just likes the camera for whatever reason. And hey, that's her thing. Another one wrote in all caps, utterly disgusting. Boycott is needed ASAP at Bravo Andy. Do better. Gizelle wasn't there. Deborah walked over to Candace, poking the bear, and she gets blamed for Deborah's actions. Last year, Wendy's sitting and merely speaking on why she didn't check in with Peter coming to Miami, and Mia throws a drink in her face with everyone sitting there, and none of this energy was given to Mia on what she did to Wendy. This level of bias is deplorable, and the whole cast and show needs to go. Listen, I 100% agree. Gizelle's disgusting. Mia and all her messiness with her relationship and whatever, I'm really not that tuned in and interested to see that. I really was surprised when they brought her back this season, because after what she did to Wendy, she was disgusting, you know? But again, the bias, the colorism. I don't think if the tables were turned and Wendy did that to Mia, that Wendy would be back. Do you really believe that Wendy would be back if Wendy threw a drink in Mia's face? All Wendy did was react to it with words, and she even may have said, you know, that she would beat her, you know what, but didn't do it. And she knew why. I'm sure Wendy wanted to drag her. I'm sure she wanted to. She couldn't do a Monique because she wouldn't be back. It's crazy. This show, I'm so disgusted, and I'm glad to see that other people are tuned in and they're calling for a boycott at this point, because I just really am disgusted by all of it. So you guys, you can let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for being here, for liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.